Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the notes on rotations. At the end of this, you should be able to say, I can rotate an object about a point. Okay, so when rotating objects, a positive angle is counterclockwise, which is often also referred to as anti-clockwise, and a negative angle is moving clockwise. Okay, so with that, rotate each figure about the origin through the angle given. Okay, so we've got A and B here. So we're starting with point A, and we are going to rotate it. It says about the origin. So here is our, let's see, so right here, that's our rotation point. Okay, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, so if you'll remember back here, if it's, oops, oh, let's mess that up again too. Okay, so if it's positive, it's counterclockwise. So if positive, we got to go counterclockwise. All right, so let's go back to that. So we got to go counterclockwise for positive 90 degrees. So this is that. So we got to go basically so that we end up getting, just so you kind of get an idea right here. You don't have to do this, oops. But what we're going to do here is we're going to end up making this right angle right here. And so this point is going to be somewhere out in this area here. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out where that exactly goes. Now, possibly an easier way to look at this is let's make this here into a triangle. Okay, so I'm just going to make this point here. So we've got this triangle, and what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this, basically pick this up and rotate it 90 degrees. So it would hopefully make sense. We're going to rotate that 90 degrees, and this green side is then going to go down here. So, well, I guess they're all greens, both green sides. So we got this thing here is going to rotate there, and then so from there it's going to go up 1, 2, 3, and then right here, it's a little bit off with my circle. Right there is where our new, this point here rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise or anti-clockwise should end up being. Okay, so if we look at it, it started at this point here, which is 1, 2, 3. It started at 3, 6, and if you look here, it ended at -6 and 3. Okay, so it's not a coincidence that they both have 3s and 6s, 6 and 3s. The y's are switching to the x, and the x is switching to the y. Okay, so if you look at it that way, it's rotating over just like that. All right, so if we look at it, we started with x and y. That's this here, and then we ended. So that's the pre-image, and then we also have the image here. Okay, and so we ended up, and this was when we did 90 degrees, we ended up with this, let's see, the x was 3, that turned into the y. So this x went there, and then the y was 6, and that ended up in the x spot, but it ended up, oops, not 6, but y. And it ended up being the opposite of that. So the x's swapped and the y's swapped, and it just so happened that the y also turned into a negative. So we went 90 degrees, x's and y's swapped. That's kind of the key idea to look at there. So with that, let's try to, I know this is still a little confusing, let's try to do this next one here. Okay, so the next one is -90. That's, since it's negative, it actually goes clockwise. So we can do the same thing. So it's going to rotate this way. So clockwise, it's going to go down that way. So let's do the same thing. Let's make this here into a triangle really quick. So we do that, and we do that. And really, we don't even necessarily need that side there, but because we're rotating about that image, so we're going to connect it to that. So we're going to rotate this 90 degrees. So that means this line here is going to plop down right here, and so that's going to turn into, let's go back to green again, so that's going to end up right here, oops, right, and then so that's this here, and then from here this line's going to end up going out that way, and that's 6, so it's going to end up going out like this to right there, and there's our new point right here. Okay, so if we look at the original point here, it was at 3, 6. Oh, look, same thing as that one. And then this one here ends up being at 6, -3. So again, we have pre, which is x and y, and then the image, the pre-image, ended up, the 6 went over here, so the y swapped, and then the x is going to also swap. Oops. But let's see, there we go, sorry. But notice that the y stayed the same, 6, 6, and then the x turned from positive to negative. Okay, so 90 degrees or -90 degrees, so like a quarter turn, the y's and x's switch spots, and then we just have to figure out which one of them is probably going to end up being negative. Okay, so that's how you can do these. I know it's a little tricky. Let's take a look at some more and see if we can make it make more sense. Okay, we're gonna try these again with some actual triangles here. So let's keep trying this, and hopefully this will make more and more sense the more we try this out. So rotating it about the origin, right? So each point is being rotated about the origin. So let's do this. Let's take just this first point and do what we did before. We're going to just make this into a little triangle. Okay, now you get the idea. And really we don't even have to put the hypotenuse part on. I'm going to just leave that. So 180 degrees. So that means we're going to take this line right here. If we extend it out, it'd be like this. We're going to rotate it 180 degrees. So there's 90, and then there's 180. So now this line here, oops, let's do that in green like we've been doing. So this line here is right there, and then you'll notice on this one here we're going up and it takes a left turn. So this one's going this way and it's going to take a left turn, so that means it's actually going to go down now, and it's going to go down 4 spots right to, oops, I didn't do that one very well. Let's see right there, and there's this new point, so that gets mapped onto that. Okay, so now if we look at this here, 180, sorry, I think I did this way, so I believe that I was supposed to go counterclockwise since it's positive 180. But if you think about it, positive 180 and negative 180 are exactly the same. So, okay. So then once we get to this point here, so if you look at this line here, we took a right turn and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots to the right. So we'll do the same thing right down here. And if it's upside down, if we turned it right side up, the right is going to be to this way, and it's going to go 5 spots. So let's go 1, 2, oh rats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right to there. There's our new second point right there. And then let's see, maybe to get to this point here, we're going to go to the left 1, 2, 3, and then another left 1, 2. So we're going to go to the left up here, go to the left 1, 2, 3, and then another left 1, 2. Here's our new triangle right here. Okay, so we're looking at this piece right here. That's our our rotated now what we call image, right? Pre-image and image. Okay, now there is an easier way to look at these, so let's take a look at an easier way to look at these, and this is actually in a little chart that's in your book as well, but let's do this. Let's pause for a second here, and there's this nice little thing here. So it says if you're rotating, rotate, and really in this section here they're only going to give you, you're either going to rotate 90 degrees, 180, or 270. So like negative 270, if you add 360 to that, that's the same thing as rotating 90. 180 is 180. So even if they're negative, We can figure out how to rotate that. So if it's rotate 90 degrees, remember that's anti-clockwise. If you start with X and Y, you're going to end with negative Y and X. On 180, if you start with X and Y, you're going to end with negative X and negative Y. I'll show you how that works here with this one in just a second. And then with 270, if you start with X and Y, you're going to end with Y and negative X. Okay, hard part is this is just like memorizing something, which isn't going to really help a whole lot, but at least can kind of give you an idea here. So taking this, let's go back to this info here. This spot here, this coordinate is 1, 4. This here is 6, 4. And then this one here is at 4, 7. Okay, so this one mapped onto this one right here, which was negative 1, negative 4. Okay, and then this point right here, which is the same as, well, which was mapped from that one, is negative 6, negative 4. And then this point right here was mapped from that one. That one is negative 4, negative 7. Okay, so if you look at all these points here, 1, 4 turned into negative 1, negative 4. So look, 1, 4, negative 1, negative 4. So you're just basically you're putting the X and the Y in the same spot, but then switching the signs of each one. Okay, so that could be a little bit easier way to look at that. Okay. Moving on, let's try another one here. Let's try this D here. We're going negative 270. So negative 270 means clockwise 270 degrees, or negative 270 we could also look at as, you can add 360 to that because that's just a full circle, and that's the same thing as rotating 90 degrees. So that's going to give us this nice little piece here. Okay, so if we rotate these 90 degrees, so let's just pick a point and go with it. So we go like this here. If we're going to rotate this 90 degrees, this line's going to go up to here, flop down there, take a right. There's our new point for this one. Let's try this with 3 different colors. Maybe that'll help. This point here, we can say, we drop down, go over here. If we're rotating that 90 degrees, let's see. Oh, I rotated clockwise. Sorry, I'm going the wrong direction. We got to go. Oops, we got to go back. Positive clockwise is, sorry, positive is counterclockwise, so we have to go this way. So again, same idea though. Sorry, so we do this and this. We got to rotate clockwise. So if we rotate this line clockwise 90 degrees, it ends up right here, right? So it's this, and then it's going to end up going, oh, sorry, it goes this way. So there's this first new point. Okay, and then this one here, again, just draw so you can connect to your rotation point. That's the kind of the key here. They all have to connect to that middle. So if we rotate that counterclockwise, this line here goes up to there, right, 90 degrees, and then this goes over 3, 1, 2, 3 to right here. So there's this new point. And then if we take this last point here and we make ourselves a little purple triangle, well, purple little angle here, and we rotate counterclockwise, this here is going to move right down to here, and it's going to go over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's this new point here. So then we end up with this triangle here. Here's our new triangle. Oops. That's not what I wanted. And there's that there. So this has been rotated negative 270 degrees, which is the same thing as positive 90 degrees. Okay? Okay, hopefully this is starting to get a little easier. Okay, let's take a look at one last one, and then away we go. Okay, So now we're going to rotate some points, rotate some figures around points that aren't at the origin, but we just kind of pretend that this P here and that P there, that we just pretend that that's the origin. Okay. Okay. So let's start rotating these things here. So negative 90 is really just clockwise here. Okay. So if we were to take this and draw ourselves a little line here, and we could rotate clock, since it's negative 90, it's positive. Sorry, we're rotating clockwise. So this goes down to here, and that was up 7. So now it's going to be over, from this point, it's going to be over 7. So it ends up right here. There's that new point there. Okay, so let's try this point here next. So we start here, and we go down. Remember, only go over to P. We're not, like, this y-axis here really doesn't do anything for us anymore. And so now we're going to rotate that down here. We're going to go, let's see, it's over 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4 here, right? And then it goes, it's going to go over 2 to right here. So there's our new point there. And then we'll do, say, purple for this last one. It's going to go there and there. So if we rotate this down, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 down, just like this one was. But now this one's got to go over 5 because that distance there is 5. So then we go over 5 from this 3, and that takes us out to 8. So then here is our new triangle, new rotated triangle here. Okay. And then this last one. All right, so doesn't matter which point we start with, let's just take one. So we got this, and we're going 180. So now you want to stop and think of this here. Let's do this, say in, I guess, red. This is our new, think really of right through the middle of P. Like, think of these red lines, red dotted lines here. Think of those as your new X and your new Y. Okay, so with this here, we're going to go like that. We went down 3 and over 1. So since it's 180 degrees, we're officially going to go 1, 2. So now, since it was going that way, it's now going to go this way. And then instead of, so if we're going this way, it's taking a right-hand turn. So it's going to still take a right-hand turn and go 1, 2, 3. Ooh, sorry, that's pretty bad. So there's this new point. Okay. With this one here, again, we're always going to this point P right here. So that's down 4 and over 5. So this then can get rotated 180 degrees. So there's 90, there's 180. So now it goes over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is going to go to the left and go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here. Okay, and then this last one right here. Look, we can just draw on. Oops, let's change the color. Hopefully, make it a little easier. There's that there. So this distance is 4. Oh wait, there's that, and then P is right here. So to rotate 180, there's 90, there's 180, so it goes over 2 to right here. And then it's going to go, let's see, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. So then from here it's going to go down 7. So there's 1 plus another 6. This is going to give us 7. So there's our new translated image. And again, remember, these should have all the same side lengths and all the same angle measures. So these should look similar. So notice how those look similar, those look similar, and again, they're exact same length, exact same angle. Okay? Okay. If you have any further questions on this, please feel free to ask in class. Thanks.